I just wanted some sauce on those zingers.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. A couple shameless plugs real quick. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I will be streaming on this channel. We're going to take a step away from politics and just talk about Phil and play some games, and it'll be a good time. Link below in the description. Top pin comment as well to the live stream. And also, too, completely random, but I have an ASMR channel. I actually did an ASMR unboxing of the iPhone 17 Pro Max and the iPad Air M3. Links to both my ASMR channel and my live stream tomorrow will be in the description and top pin comment. I look forward to seeing you there. So Donald Trump is going on a suing spree, and he's doing this to silence any criticism against him. There's no other way around it. He is pressuring these companies where he's threatening to take them to court. And unfortunately, instead of them actually going through the court case, which they probably would win, they're just settling. And it's not stopping, and it's getting even worse. And I never thought I would see this day coming with YouTube. But YouTube settled too. But before we get into that, let's go over other companies that Donald Trump has went after, and they just caved to him. Trump sued the Walt Disney Company in 2024, and they settled with him for $15 million. In July 2025, Paramount settled with Trump for $16 million because he didn't like a comment said by Kamala Harris in their 60 Minutes interview. Trump sued X, formerly known as Twitter. Boy, oh boy, do I love X. He sued them for $10 million to settle a case. This was in February 2025. And Trump also sued good old Mark Zuckerberg's Meta for $25 million due to censorship, he claimed, Trump, on both Instagram and Facebook. And he also has ongoing lawsuits against the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal. If you remember, the Wall Street Journal released that birthday letter that Trump had sent to Jeffrey Epstein, where it has the figure of a woman and he signs where her magic area would be. That's where he signs his signature. Remember that Trump said he swore he didn't actually draw, and then people found out that he did draw?
I don't do drawings. I'm not a drawing person. I don't do drawings. Sometimes people say, would you draw a building? And I'll draw 4 lines and a little roof, you know, for a charity stuff. But I'm not a drawing person.
Ocean water. Ocean water.
He lies so much that people just like, I don't even know what's true or not. So, and that's on purpose. That's by design. So everything is murky water, and your brain short circuits when he says anything. So he could just say whatever he wants to, and that diehard base that he has will believe whatever he says. That's not the flaw, that's the feature. Well, as we know, Trump was banned from YouTube after the January 6, 2021 insurrection. And boy, was Trump mad about that. He feels that we should be able to have all platforms as a beacon of free speech, except when it's speech that he doesn't want you to say. But anyway, this comes from CNN.com. I'll read it to you, then we'll discuss. YouTube agreed to pay $24.5 million to settle a lawsuit filed by President Donald Trump after he was suspended by social media platforms following the January 6th, 2021 insurrection. This makes Alphabet-owned YouTube the last of 3 big tech social media companies sued by Trump, which included Meta and then Twitter, now called X, to settle over his removal from their platforms. YouTube will pay $22 million to settle the claims made by Trump to the nonprofit Trust for the National Mall, which is dedicated to restoring, preserving, and elevating the National Mall to support the construction of the White House State Ballroom, according to a court document. Ah, yes, Trump's Golden Ballroom. The social media company will also pay $2.5 million to settle with other plaintiffs, such as the nonprofit American Conservative Union. This is literally this is a shakedown. This is just a flat out shakedown. Anyone who says anything that the dear leader doesn't like, he will either sue you or get you deplatformed, which is irony because wasn't the right supposed to be the party of anti-cancel culture? I always hated cancel culture, so don't go after me saying that it's a left-wing thing and I was pro-cancel culture. I always couldn't stand it. I wish I still had my other damn channel. Back in the day, I called out when Roseanne was banned because they shoehorned what she said into a racist tweet. Yes, what she said was stupid and it was not a good look, and I could see her getting ire or facing some other repercussions, but they totally took her off the reboot of Roseanne. Now, there's a lot of people who are saying, oh, yeah, well, they did that to Roseanne. So when Disney canceled Jimmy Kimmel because everyone was butthurt about what he said about Charlie Kirk, that's the same thing. I hate cancel culture either way. I hate what happened to Roseanne and I hate what happened to Jimmy Kimmel. But the difference is, even though it was stupid that she was forced off the show because you had a bunch of left-wingers at that time, that was the peak of cancel culture. And if you said anything wrong in any way, there would be hell to pay. It's still a thing to this day, but it was much worse back then. But that was a private company making a private decision. This was a company, this was Disney, making a decision because the FCC chair, Brendan Carr, pressured them into making the decision to cancel Jimmy Kimmel. So Roseanne getting fired, as crappy as it was and that infuriated me back in the day, is not the same when a corporation gets pressure from the federal government to make a decision. That's as fascist as you get. Now, Trump, who was totally not involved with getting Jimmy Kimmel canceled or getting Stephen Colbert's show, which is shutting down in early 2026, the guy who totally didn't have any involvement in it is sitting there on Truth Social rejoicing that Brendan Carr, the FCC chair, put pressure on Disney to shut down his show. But I'm sure Trump didn't do anything to make this happen. This is what he said. Now we know Jimmy Kimmel is back on the air. Even in Sinclair regions, his show is now completely back on. But before this all happened and there was a huge boycott of Disney, this is what Trump had to say when he thought that Kimmel was going to stay canceled.
Great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel's show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert. If that's possible, that leaves Jimmy and Seth, two total losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC. President
Ocean water.
Dude, he's trying to get Seth Meyers canceled too. Please don't tell me that this is the same as when cancel culture pushed Roseanne off back, what was that, in 2018? It's not the same. It's not. That was a private company making a private decision because they gave into, at the time, they would have been called social justice warriors. And Lord knows I couldn't stand them either. If you don't realize that we are already under authoritarian rule, and this is why I'm going to start making these videos. Do I want to make them? Not really. It's going to be a headache. It's going to be just stressful talking about this stuff. And I'm sure that it is going to piss off a lot of people. And I am going to deal with a lot of nonsense. But I don't care how big or small your voice is, this needs to be discussed. This administration is sending troops into cities in this country. Do you realize that? He wants to send troops to Chicago. Trump has sent National Guard troops to Los Angeles, thousands of them. According to Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, Trump wants to send 100 troops to Chicago. And the Oregon National Guard says is working with the Trump administration to send 200 troops to Portland. So he's going to war with his own citizens. That's as fascist as you get. And do not say it's about crime, because crime has been going down in Washington, D.C. It's still been on a downward trend before troops were sent in there. So I don't want to hear this. This is about intimidation. This is the fascist playbook 101. Trump administration is suing the media to silence them. They're sending our own troops to battle against us, which is absolutely unacceptable. And another play out of the fascist playbook, Trump is going after political enemies. He just on Truth Social pressured Attorney General Pam Bondi to go after former FBI Director James Comey. And they literally, like, what was it, 48 hours later, or it felt like it anyway. It was really damn close to when he put out that truth. They found some garbage thing that was just actually going to expire due to the statute of limitations, where they're saying during congressional testimony that Comey gave in 2020 that he lied. And if they didn't file something soon, like I said, it was going to expire. They couldn't actually indict him for it. So they literally look for some excuse to go after him, where not even about a week later, they indicted him. It was just about an end where they couldn't go after him with this charge. And it was just an excuse. Trump has a hate boner for James Comey. He's had one for a very long time, which is very strange because if it wasn't for that nuke that James Comey dropped back in 2016, where they were reinvestigating the emails with Hillary Clinton, maybe there wouldn't have been a Trump 1.0. So it's weird that he hates him so much because there's a good chance because of what Comey did. If Comey didn't do that, he wouldn't have gotten elected. So, okay, I guess that doesn't really count to Trump. If you hurt his feelings ever, he hates you. Look, I'm going to say something now that you're going to see at least in video form on this channel. A lot of the content here, because of how serious things are getting in the States, is going to be political based. My streams are going to be an escape from that. If you want to watch my streams and see me talk about Phil or Locale Live or whatever internet drama is going on that's not political, sure, come on there. But even though I don't have a big voice anymore on this platform, I got to use the voice that I have. I think it's very important. And while not that my channel will ever get big ever again, but my channel's small now. Whether it grows or not is a different story, but my channel is small now. And if I'm going to make a choice like this, which if some of you are OGs, you know, I always kind of dabbled in politics, but if I'm going to go all in for various reasons, not just because my channel is small, but because of what's going on in the States right now, it's the time to do it. And I think it would be the wrong choice not to, because everyone needs to band together to what is happening to this country. It isn't a left or right thing. It's the powerful against us. It's the rich against the middle class and poor. And they're trying to make us be against each other. And that's not what I want to see. I don't care if you are conservative. If you don't agree with something I say, that's fine. That is your right to disagree with me. It's your right to think I'm a piece of garbage. You could say that I'm a piece of garbage. I want you to have the freedom to think I am a piece of garbage and to say that I'm a piece of garbage. I don't want to live in a country, no matter who is in charge, where there is a thing called wrongthink, where we don't have the First Amendment, where we don't have the freedoms that we have right now, which are being severely eroded away as we speak, but the freedoms that we had and still kind of sort of have at this moment. This isn't about left or right. This is about something much deeper and much more serious, as we're seeing with Epstein, as we're seeing with how they're trying to hide all the people that were involved with Epstein, who went to his island, who probably did horrible, depraved things. And Lord knows if they're trying to cover for Israeli intelligence. And I'm not going to go into that whole conspiracy now. But it's not, if you're a conservative watching this, you're not my enemy. Who is above us is our enemy. Please remember that. You could disagree with many of my takes, but let's work together to fight who the real foe is.